More Theme Park Tycoon 2, woohoo! So I continued a little bit off camera past the entrance just to start working on this sort of entry plaza area, and I got a decent amount done. I mean, these aren't complete, and neither is this building, obviously, but I got started on it, and I was gonna primarily do this area like primarily off camera because this is probably going to be the most boring area of the park, really, which probably isn't how an entry plaza should be since it's like your first impression of the park. But either way, yeah, it's definitely going to end up being the least interesting. I also did a little bit of planning for the park off camera so I could figure out like what themes I want to go with in different areas and whatnot. And a lot of the themes for the different areas that I chose were based on just things that I personally like. So it's gonna be kind of like, I guess the best thing I could probably say it would be similar to is Benny's Movie Park, how that was themed to like a bunch of different movies. However, my park will be themed to mostly like different games I play, as well as like just other things that I like. Like one thing I really enjoy doing more recently is Hot Wheels collecting. So there is a Hot Wheels section of the park that will be done, which is actually the area that I want to get started on in this episode because I have that area being built right here. I did start working on like an image where I would plan out what each of the different areas are. I haven't filled everything in yet, and honestly I'll probably scrap that image and redo it because I'm going to kind of go in a circle this way and just start here, go all the way around until I loop back here and finish it. And that's kind of also how I'll figure out how big each of the areas need to be and how many areas I'll actually be able to fit in this park. Yeah, so like I said, the first area of the park here will be themed to Hot Wheels and stuff like that. I do have a roller coaster idea in mind already. I highly doubt I'll start working on that in this episode. Hopefully, next episode will be when I start working on that. I think the overall vibe of this section of the park will be similar to, like, I guess the best, like, thing that exists in real life that I could compare it to would be the area around, I think it's called West Coast Racers at Six Flags Magic Mountain. How that area is all themed to, like, street racing and cars and stuff. But there's also a couple, like, existing Hot Wheels playsets that I'll be theming it off of. You know what, I think I might have this first area right here completely centered around this one thing I found. So the path will come in front of it. There's like a small little garage right here, and that's what I'll make this. There's not really a garage, like there's a garage building and then there's like an overpass thing. I don't know how to explain it. I think I actually have one of these in real life at my grandma's house. I don't have it with me right now. But what we can then do with this is have path come up on top of it because that's where the track goes, and then it loops back around this way. We could then have the whole thing elevated around here, and then the roller coaster will be right around here. I kind of want it to be near this edge of the park over here, but not like right on the edge, obviously. Just in this general area is kind of where I want our first roller coaster to be, and it'll have sort of like an L-shaped layout. As much as I would like to have this park be accessible by guests, doing some of these like staircases and stuff up to different areas is gonna suck. Or maybe I should have this building be a bit longer. I'm gonna have this building be quite a bit longer than this because the actual building is quite big. Maybe I should actually make the building before I do this. We'll do that. I'll start working on this building based on the images I have, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So this black granite kind of does look like road. It looks a lot more like road than this does, if I'm gonna be honest. So the actual building would start like right here, and then there is like a small diagonal part that, if I'm gonna be honest, I might skip because I've already struggled enough with doing diagonals on that that building, and it's been really annoying. I don't like doing the diagonals. And so that right there is about how long this little segment will be. Obviously, I'm not going to leave these as individual primitives. I'll make it all better later. For now, that's just what I'm doing. Now, I don't quite know how far back I need this building to go. I'm thinking, so because I want to put a car in here, I'm thinking I'll have to have this go back like about that far. And then since this path will be going up, I could probably have the path go across right here. Now, I don't know if I'll have enough room to bring it back this way. So I think I might actually have it turn off this way here. And the I'll probably show the image of the actual playset a couple times. The upper like blue section of the playset will actually just be moved over to this side instead of being stacked on top. That should just make this a bit easier to build. And I might actually move it to this side, just based on how I'm going to have this path go. And then I don't know what I'm going to put here to kind of block the road off, but I'll figure out something. So I guess before I really get moving on to all that, I will sort of work on putting all this together. Thankfully, for the most part, the actual building itself isn't that crazy, so this shouldn't be... Oh, that was perfect. This shouldn't be too difficult for me to be able to work out. I do kind of want this area to look accessible, even though there will probably only be like a car here and that's it. And that's kind of how I'll block this off. So I do want this to kind of be like level with the path, I think. The actual color palette for this is really interesting. I don't know how it's going to translate over to a park like this, but I'll try my best to keep it pretty accurate, but there's definitely some stuff I'm going to have to change for the sake of actually having this look good, I think. There are some very questionable color choices in this. There are also some spots that I'm gonna like change up to add some like greenery to it, because obviously these Hot Wheels creations don't have like just plants in them. Parks generally look a lot nicer with plants in them, so I will try to add quite a few spots for those. I do want to create a couple custom plants, like just flowers and stuff, because the only flowers we really have are these flower beds, which are just, it's literally just a really ugly PNG of flowers. Like, that's not very pretty looking, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of it. So I will create some like custom flowers and stuff to put in with like the bushes and stuff. Oh, there we go. That's the color I should have picked. That's much better. This is starting to sort of take shape, not really. This should be all fine when it's done. It's just very time consuming to get it to the point where it starts to look good. Okay, we can do straight path here, so that's how far up that's gonna go. Now I am seeing there are like windows in this, because I think this is supposed to be connected to this building, but I'm gonna do something different. I could put like posters on it or something, or maybe like spray paint, like graffiti. If I can find like good PNGs for that, or maybe just create some on my own. I might try and do that at some point. Not right now. But if I do decide to do that, it'll probably be on the wall by the next episode, or the episode after that, depending on what I'm doing. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So I've continued building on this section of the park, and I got some of the buildings done, and as you can probably see, sticking out of the little garage building right there, I did decide to try building the first car for this section. And I will show it in a minute, but before you all laugh at it, give me a sec, I need to find a way to cope with this. It's not the best, it's not very good at all. It, oh god, it fits in really well with the pre-made cars. Oh god. Yeah, I mean, it's recognizable as what car it's supposed to be, but like, I definitely could have done that way better. Or probably not, honestly. Considering this is my first time building with the limits completely off, and I'm still fairly new to this game, considering my first time ever playing it was when I started the limited part. Hello, person. Yeah, so this whole area so far is not the best. I decided to put it right up here for some reason. And overall, just translating the buildings or just the designs of the playset, it didn't work very well. I also didn't even follow it like at all for this section over here. I don't know. I think over time, like as I continue building up this park and I start to get better, I'll come back over here and I'll redo this area a little bit. Before you question why I didn't use the updated version of the twist, I just feel I don't know, it doesn't really fit how this area of the park looks, I feel. Like, I feel it's a bit more elegant looking, so like I feel like it would fit more this style over here than this, which is why I went for the original version, just because it's a lot more simpler. I feel it fits the very simple buildings of this area of the park a bit better, and this person over here just died. Apparently my new buildings over here are that much of an eyesore. Yeah, I do want to do some stuff to make this look a little better though. Yeah, I'm not sure about how I'm gonna do these parts. I think something like this could be fine if I do that here as well, but I really feel I should have more like in here to separate these a bit better and have a better transition going between these, but I don't really know how exactly I'll do that currently. I might also try and see if I can put like a roof over this, just to make this look a little cool, because it does look kind of weird just plop down on top of here. There's a lot of stuff I still want to do to this yet. I'll have to try and plan this out a bit more before I continue too much, because I don't want to like ruin it more than I already have. Yeah, so I think for now, this is where I'll end this episode. Next episode, I'll probably have a bit more of this done, because I do want to get started on the roller coaster that will be going in over here, or maybe more like in here. I'm thinking I might have the roller coaster loop around this way a little bit, just so I have something I could work with to try and decorate this part between this area of the park and the path here. And then I'll also work on the transition between these two sections, because these are obviously very differently themed sections of the park.